Ecamm Live feature requests. Did it get your attention? That's what this video is all about, and it is just for you lovely people in the Ecamm Live community. Last month I was lucky enough to win their family dinner competition by simply posting a really quite ridiculous picture of myself, but never mind, the scars will soon heal for that one. But this month their family dinner competition involves posting a screenshot or a list of basically your checklist, your going live checklist. So there is a pinned post in the community somewhere at the top of the Ecamm Live Facebook group where you can find that and enter, so definitely do go for that. So what that means is that today is the day of the family dinner for the winners of last month, which is me and two other people, Faith News Network, Faith from Faith News Network, and also Jan Keck. And so yeah, we are going to be joining some of the lovely Ecamm crew. And one of the things I've been told is we're going to be able to submit a feature request. And I don't know if it's 1 or 2 or 3 or how many. Now, I've really got a list of well, I could draw up a list of hundreds of little features that I'd like just to serve my own selfish needs. But what I thought I'd do is just get 5, a short list of 5, and then I'll put it out here in this little video. And then if you just tell me which one of these 5 you would prefer, and then when it comes to the actual thing later on today, for me, it's 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, US time. Whereas it's basically this evening for me, Monday 9 o'clock in Thailand, which is where I am. And so yeah, if I just run through these little feature requests and you just leave a comment in the Facebook group of which one you'd like to see, and then yeah, I shall submit my request later on. So number 1, feature request number 1 is I want to be able to add a screen share to a scene simply as an overlay by clicking on the little button, like in the same way that you can add a image overlay or a camera overlay or whatever. I'd like to be able to just select a overlay and then select a screen sharing. I know that you can technically do this in a roundabout way by having setting a scene with screen sharing as the main source and sort of flicking the screen sharing from the background to the pip, and then you can reposition it like that, but then you still end up with the actual camera in the background. And so yeah, it's not, as far as I can work out, unless I've just been a total idiot and missed something, there's not an easy way to just quickly add in an overlay as a screen sharing overlay. The way that you can do it, obviously, is using something like NDI, but I'm thinking it might be handy if you could just do it without any third-party software. And also, at a stretch, if you could actually add 2 screen sharing overlays, like say, for example, you wanted to screen share 2 particular apps separately in some weird window configuration, which I've sort of got in my mind, then that might be useful as well. But I don't want to push my luck. So just having screen sharing as a separate overlay would be great. Number 2 is, now this is a bit of a weird one. Or maybe it's not. Maybe there are other people who can relate to this. But you know how you've got all the different panels on Ecamm Live? So you have your scenes panel, your overlays panel, and so on and so forth. You've also got your sound levels panel. I'd really love it if you could just adjust the size of this. It sort of auto-adjusts the depth of it, the height of it, if you are adding extra audio sources. But I can't change the width of it. Now, I can understand that there would be a minimum width because you've got to fit those, the bars in for the sound levels and things like that. But if I could just stretch it a little bit wider. The reason is, at the moment, it just does not fit with anything in terms of my panels. And I know you see people where they got panels sort of thrown all over their desktops, whereas I am really quite an OCD neat freak. And the fact that I can't get it to line up with the edges of any of the other panels drives me mad. So I'd really love to be able to adjust the width of it in some way, even if there's no other enhancements added to that at all as well. It would just be really nice to adjust that. So feature request number 3 is still on audio actually, and still probably related to that panel, because I'd like to be able to fade in and out sounds. Now, I know you can do it because you can just grab your mouse and you can just drag the slider down and you can drag the slider up, so you can fade things in and out. But what I'd like to be able to do is either have a fade in button or a fade out button, or have some way that you could maybe adjust it on, perhaps even in a worst case, have it where you add the audio file, you can actually set a fade to that instead. But yeah, having some sort of feature to be able to fade music in and out, or audio in and out, would be really great. Obviously, you can do it by doing it in a third-party piece of software, which is what I've ended up doing with some of it, and then I just import the sort of pre-faded audio in, so that it fades in that way. But if it was built in, it'd be a really nice feature. feature request number 4, still on audio actually, and this is again, bit of a niche one, and this is a sort of pro feature, I suppose, because it's related to interview mode, and that is when you are on interview mode and you've got a guest and you are about to start a stream. Maybe you've got some background music in the stream, or foreground music in the stream, I suppose, whilst you're waiting to actually join. When the host speaks to the guest can hear the audio of the stream, but when the host speaks, it actually ducks the audio. So the sort of stream music, for example, would go slightly lower so that the guest can hear what the host is saying behind the scenes before it's actually, being broadcast, if you see what I mean. Well, the problem is that it doesn't work the other way. So the guest's voice, when the host is listening, is not given priority over the actual audio that's going out to the stream. So being able to have it so that you can maybe set the levels that are going to the monitors independently to the levels that are going out into the stream would be one way around this, so that you could basically have it so that you can that what you're hearing in your monitors is lower than what the audience is hearing, and so that would mean that you could then hear what the guest was saying while they were waiting, or just have it so that it works both ways, that it ducks what's going into your monitors so that you can hear what the other person's saying as well. So that is feature request number 4. Now, feature request number 5 is a little bit niche, and I suppose it's a little bit self-serving and a little bit selfish, but I wasn't really going to mention it. But since I've discovered that one of the 3 people that is on the family dinner with me today is also in Thailand, I mean, I thought I was the only one. So now it's like, well, I've got a bit of support here with this. And I'm sure that there are other international people with me as well. So this is really, I suppose, for the sort of international folk, and especially with things like family dinner, I can see how at some point in the future, maybe these things might be, formal get-togethers. I know there's also the People of Video conference coming up, and so there's going to be an Ecamm get-together for that as well. And so it just does seem that there could be something done to help and facilitate in getting people together. And I did actually suggest a Thailand meetup when somebody said, where should we go next after the People of Video one? So I suggested the Thailand one, sort of tongue-in-cheek, thinking that, well, it's not going to happen, is it? But now at least I know I have got some Ecamm friends here in Thailand. So this feature request is related to international people, and it's going to have to be something, it's going to have to be for only the pro plan, I would think. And in the same way that when you do interview mode, obviously there is bandwidth requirements and things like that for that, and so that's why you get a certain allocation of time. So this would have to be something similar. If you were going to use this feature and have access to it, there would be a time limit. You wouldn't be able to just use it at will. There would have to be some sort of level of control over how much time you actually got to use it for. But it's a bit of a hard one to explain, and so I just thought I'd make this little mock-up of it. And if you let me know if this is something that you would like to have use of, then this is going to be number 5, and I'll just let it roll as an outro really, because it sort of speaks for itself. But let me know what you think. Numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then I'll catch you all later. Cheers. Bye bye.